What's going on, everybody? Nayland, thank you for the $4.99 super chat, Nayland. Appreciate you so much, Nayland. There we go. Let's see. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me? Can you hear me loud and clear? Hello? Okay, people can hear me. Okay. Thought something was messed up with my sound there for a second. What's going on, everybody? Happy Memorial Day weekend. What's going on? Kind of expecting something to happen this weekend. It always does whenever there's a holiday coming up. I did hear some right-wing networks are trying to say that there was an Iranian plot to kill Ivanka Trump. It's been reported on Fox News today. No credible sources are posting it, only right-wing shit, but that's where it starts. And Donald Trump has a history of doing these things on the weekend. What the fuck? He has a history of trying to create issues on the weekend. I don't know if it's like say he just likes to do it or something. I don't fucking know, but he likes to fuck with the weekends. Anytime there's a memorial or anything. 210 Rain. Christopher, thank you for the 1999 super chat. Says you gonna barbecue for Memorial Day besides cooking Muppets? I mean, I don't know. I think so. Maybe throw something on the grill or something. Appreciate you, Christopher. Thank you so much for the super chat, dude. For some reason, I'm lagging here, which is just fucking great. Piece of shit. Can you guys see me perfectly fine? Can you guys see me perfectly fine? I have no idea why I'm having this issue right now. It doesn't appear it's my OBS. It's my browser. This happens every once in a while with fucking Internet Explorer. It just lags like a mother. I don't know why. I'm trying to figure this. But you guys can hear and see me fine, right? So I don't know why it does this every once in a while, dude. I honestly don't. Like, it's fucking weird. Internet Explorer just fucking sucks. I really shouldn't even be using Internet Explorer, but I don't like Chrome. All right, guys, the phone lines are on. 908-652-3703. If you are a Trump supporter, you can call in. And where did my Antifa thing go? Where did my Antifa thing go? Wait a second. I want to bring up my Antifa thing. So, yeah, I am expecting something this weekend. That's the way it's gone with Trump, you know. He tends to use holidays specifically to conduct attacks. So, and that's the way it's always kind of been. So I am expecting something like that to happen. I would be surprised if we're here on Tuesday and not discussing something happening. Doesn't it always seem like that? I just scrolled across that picture of Elon Musk jumping up and down. Yeah, Tori, I went over this like a bunch of times already. The Ashley St. Clair thing, like I said. I just think people need to be skeptical, but I think there's no reason to get her to. I don't think there's any reason she should stop talking. You know what I mean? I don't think there's anything wrong with talking. You know what I mean? If she has good information, why not? You know, I think Trump supporters. I don't know why we consider, not damaging the system still. Like when Trump supporters clearly don't give a fuck about democracy, the Constitution, any aspect of our system whatsoever. I don't know why we're still trying to punch above the belt. That kind of baffles me why we're still doing that, but for some fucking weird reason we are. I don't understand how shit just disappears off my fucking computer. Like, I downloaded this, I put it on the computer, and now it's just not there. Like, what the fuck? Someone come in here and just delete shit off my computer? Like, what the fuck? It's the weirdest fucking shit, man. This happens to me all the time. And I always forget to make sure that I have this folder set up for these dumb fucks. Sleepy Joe Biden. He's sleepy. I would think it was Trump supporters, but they're too dumb to figure it out. Guys, did you see the Fetterman text leaks? That's something I wanted to talk about today. Did you guys hear about this? We have got to go over this because it is everything we've talked about. Fucking John Fetterman, man. And Republicans love this asshole now. They love him. They love him even more than before. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but these texts were leaked. His private text messages, okay? And they are disgusting. They are absolutely disgusting. Let me see if I can pull this up here. I'm going to read this out. Leaked text messages show Fetterman privately mocking Democratic positions. The guy's completely an undercover agent. Completely an undercover agent, folks. So let's go through the article here really quick. This is super fucked up. So leaked texts by John Fetterman reveal why many of the Pennsylvania senator's staffers are reportedly worried. Not only worried, they're actually leaving. A lot of aides have already left. He's lost like 30-something employees or something. A lot of them have already walked out because they're just tired of his bullshit. And they know he's full of shit. They know he's an undercover op for Republicans in Israel. Messages obtained by New York Magazine show the Democrat mocking free health care, dismissing the Epstein files as a nothing burger, and calling Democrats hypocritical for their outrage at the killing of nurse Alex Preddy in Minneapolis. So real quick, while we have a moment, well, it's the weekend. We're gonna, dude, I'm so mad this released on the weekend because I want to call Fetterman so bad. I am going to fucking, the next time I call into Fetterman's office, I'm going to be fucking banned from calling. Do you fucking understand me? banned. Why is this fucking creep in here talking about my family? Get the fuck out of here, you creepy fuck, before I find you and fucking ruin you. On January, according to the report, Fetterman sent staffers an article about how annual health care costs for a typical working American family are nearly $4,000. How should it cost? Free? He wrote. I don't understand what affordability is. Also in January, as the Trump administration was dragging its heels about releasing the Epstein files, Fetterman messaged a staffer. Epstein was a nothing burger, he says. Worst pics I've seen were from Clinton, LOL, he writes. This is Fetterman typing this, mocking the Epstein files and Democrats while he walks around the fucking floor, as he walks around the Capitol building with his fucking hoodie and his lanky legs and his ugly fucking Carhartt sweater. Then after federal agents repeatedly shot Preddy in the back during an anti-ICE protest, Fetterman complained that Democrats shouldn't be taking his side because they had objected when Kyle Rittenhouse brought a gun to a protest, as Fetterman characterized it. By the way, guys, I've already come up with an idea. When I call Fetterman's office next week, remember this good and well. I'm going to convince people to leave. I'm going to convince staffers to leave. But do I have mods in here? Some fucking clown is spamming the channel like a fucking tool. Keep making fake accounts, you fucking chud. You're only helping my fucking YouTube channel, you idiot. Keep engaging, moron. So he writes, Kyle Rittenhouse brought a gun to a protest. Fetterman 56 texted a staffer. He was condemned for that. Why are now Democrats defending the nurse? It was legal to carry both legal weapons. Square that. I mean, it's pretty fucking bad. Let's go to the next one here. Unlike Preddy, though, Rittenhouse actually fired his gun. He shot 3 men, 2 fatally, during civil unrest in Wisconsin in August 2020 after the shooting of Jacob Blake by a police officer. Blah, blah, blah. Who gives a shit? That's not what he's writing. Preddy's killing, the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office determined, was a homicide. Fetterman's office did not immediately respond to these texts mocking Preddy's death. Dude, you know what's funny about this? Is that when I call, they released a statement because you have to understand when Fetterman voted to confirm Mark Wayne Mullen, he was, I think, the only Democrat to do so. There was one other one, New Mexico. So he basically said that, because no one understood why he voted to confirm. After Alex Preddy's death, he kind of came out publicly and said it was uncalled for and all of this shit. You know what I mean? Forgot what part. Dude, Angel of Thunder, call in and stop crying. We're not interested in your crying. Call in. We're not interested in your... If you can spam the chat, you can call the phone number. We're not interested in listening to you spam the chat. Alex Preddy never pulled out his firearm, you moron. Okay? This isn't a complicated thing to understand. Since being sworn in, Fetterman's net popularity among his Democratic constituents has also taken a nosedive. While he was up 68 points in 2023, in March he was down 40 points. So basically, John Fetterman has privately been mocking healthcare initiatives by Democrats, mocking Alex Preddy, and basically laughing about Democrats. How mad are you? How fucking pissed off are you? How pissed off are you? Dude, I'm fucking furious. Like, Fetterman is the worst. The absolute worst. Mocking Alex Preddy. Same guy who voted to confirm Wayne Mullen. And you remember, we called Fetterman's office and complained about that. Why would you vote to confirm Mark Wayne Mullen? He's got no experience in Department of Homeland Security. He's got no experience in anything whatsoever. Why are you voting to confirm him? Lordy. But it's no surprise. I'm not shocked. Okay? I am definitely not shocked. My headset's acting weird again today, too. I don't know what the fuck is going on with it. Yeah, let's send them all packing, and Fetterman can fucking open the damn door. Fetterman can open the fucking door. He's the worst, dude. I think Fetterman is a really good example, and he's too dumb to hide it, of everything wrong with the political system. Like, John Fetterman is what politicians mostly are, in one way or another. Not truly believing, what they pretend to stand for. And they get in there, and they don't give a fuck about the American people at all. They don't give a flying fuck at all. But this piece of shit walks around the Capitol building with a fucking sweatshirt on. Like, he doesn't even give a shit about representing people in a respectful way. Remember when he went to Israel and was walking around with the fucking shorts on and the dirty fucking... Remember that? He went to Israel and did the same fucking thing. Walked around with that stupid sweatshirt on. Here was the statement he made publicly when he was texting privately. I just found the interview. This is what he was saying publicly when he was texting privately, mocking Democrats for it.
Just the first question I had on Epstein. What do you make of what's happening between the Trump administration and its seeming reluctance to release some of these Epstein documents, and then what we're seeing with the House, where Republicans are getting out of town because they don't want to do this vote Democrats are bringing up?
I don't really have strong feelings on it. For me, it's like we under 4 years when the administration they were in control of it and didn't release it. Now today, so whatever, if they want to release it, great, that's fine, or if not. But for me, I'm not preoccupied with those things. I think there's much more important things, honestly. And again, for me, conspiracies or these kinds of things, I just don't want us to turn into a country of tinfoil hat kinds of situations.
He's literally stupid.
Now, if there's something to release it, but I'm not preoccupied by it. And again, there's things much more concerned about it.
Randy Weingarten and Bernie Sanders are having a town meeting up here. I know that there's kind of a clash inside the Democratic Party about which direction they should go. Is it harder for Democrats to reach centrists or Trump voters when that left wing?
You're so right, Disco. He thinks he's cool, but he's not. That's exactly right. Dude, Trump is wearing a diaper right now overseas, madman. Don't even start with that bullshit. What is Trump doing right now? Falling asleep in every single cabinet meeting he has? Trump falls asleep in every meeting he has. Should I pull it up? The dude is literally rotting before our eyes. Let's bring it up really quick. We don't need to make these claims. We can just prove it. Dude's literally rotting before our eyes.
Call from.
Same guy calls in every single time first. Yes, can I help you?
My name is Andrew Mingus.
Okay, did you get it all out? You have no life. You call every single day and say the same fucking thing. You're a tool. Literally no one laughs. What a waste of time. So let's pull this up really quick. So let the dude get it out. And he thinks he's like, he gets off the phone and then giggles when he does that, like anyone gives a fuck. Oh my God, that hurt us so much. What are we gonna do? I have news for you. If you think that's funny, you're a fucking idiot. Look at this. This is the current state of our president. This is the current state of our president. And you're talking about Joe Biden? You're talking about Joe Biden, and this is the current state of our president? You're talking about Joe Biden? You're talking about Joe Biden? You're talking about Joe Biden? You have the audacity to mention Joe Biden? You must be kidding. You must be kidding. Overseas, we're not interested in crying in the chat. right? We just mute crybabies. So sit for 30 minutes and you can call in if you want to have a conversation. But you're probably 12 or scared. It's one of the two. Looks like you're an adult, so we're going to go with scared. Where's the video of what? Yeah, they don't know the definitions of basic words, Violet. Don't even bother. Just mute them. They're obsessed with Biden. Look, guys, Trump supporters have Biden derangement syndrome, okay? They're very jealous of Joe Biden for some reason. I think it's probably because Joe Biden never took the bait. Joe Biden didn't want to build a golf course in Gaza. Joe Biden didn't go to war with Iran. Joe Biden took the correct position in Ukraine. I mean, I think they're just jealous. You know, I think that's really what it is. I think that's what it is. No, they're not. They are not. You can call in and I can explain it to you, but no, they're not. This administration is hiding the Epstein files because Trump's in them. That's why they're not releasing them. Okay? They're not releasing them because they show Trump's guilt. And they expose corruption. And they expose other friends of his that are powerful, right, for engaging in the same category of crime. That's exactly what it does. That's exactly what it does. So in January, according to the report, Fetterman sent staffers an article about how annual health care costs for a typical working American family are near $4,000. And he wrote underneath it, "How should it cost?" What an idiot. Free? Question mark. I don't understand what affordability is. This is literally John Fetterman in a nutshell. And you can tell he wrote it because he's literally a moron, John Fetterman. He's actually dumb. In January, right, he sent his staffers an article about annual health care costs for a typical working American family near $4,000. And he wrote, "How should it cost? Free? I don't understand what affordability is." This troglodyte. Could there be a better example of a troglodyte than this guy? I mean, honestly. Buying time to build. So you're buying time to build a response? Well, here, how about we mute you until you call in? I don't know what you're talking about, but why don't you call in? If you're saying something against TikTok's guidelines, yeah, they don't let you say it. What's interesting is Trump's campaign was all about releasing the files. Now they redacted all the perpetrators. Very terrible. Yep, he's a fucking liar. The answer is fucking obvious. Jerry says Fetterman is a hero. Really, Jerry? You probably think Fetterman's smart too, right? I imagine you think he's intelligent as well, don't you? He's out of touch. And he's a goofball who's not very bright. Okay? He's a goof who's not very bright. I love how he says, should healthcare be free? Yeah, it should be. Yes, it should be. Like in all other developed countries. Like in all other developed countries, you know? And it's not $4,000 anywhere, by the way. Especially if you have children. He should be removed. Everything that happened with that election, he got elected after his stroke. He hadn't even won his primary yet when he had his stroke. And Republicans were screaming that he's not capable for government and he shouldn't be in government and his brain is not working and all this shit. And then he gets elected and he perpetuates the same dumbass Republican narratives. And what do Republicans do? They support it. What do? They support it because he started saying all of the things they want to hear. All you have to say is the stuff Republicans want to hear. Fox, you're not a patriot if you support Trump. Plain and simple, okay? I said what I said. You can call in if you disagree. You are not a patriot if you support Trump. Hands down. If you disagree with that statement, you're welcome to call in. You aren't a patriot if you support him. Period. That's all there is to it. Supporting Trump is anti-American. I don't know what it is. But I can't change it, so. Vicky, thank you for the $1.99 super chat, Vicky. Appreciate you, Vicky. I mean, I'm not defending him, but he did have a stroke. I don't give a fuck whether or not he had a stroke. I couldn't give a fuck less. You think I care about Fetterman's stroke? I don't. Okay? I don't give a shit about Fetterman. In fact, I wish the worst for him. Okay? He's a terrible human being. And he was dumb before he ever had a stroke, by the way. I don't give a fuck he had a stroke. Democrats are not communist, okay? Democrats are capitalist. There is no communist party. There's never been an elected Democrat that advocates for communism. There's democratic socialism, and you don't know the difference. Yes, Sonia Jackson, you want me to say it again? I don't care that Fetterman had a stroke. Fuck John Fetterman. 10 toes down. Does that hurt your feelings? I'll say it again. John Fetterman, I don't give a fuck about. I wish the worst for him. He was a dumbass before he had a stroke. Democrats defended him because he had a stroke when Republicans mocked him for it. Okay? Now the dumbass is in office fucking up the country and supporting Trump. So he's a POS. Fuck him and the horse he fucking rode in on. Read this here.
5'8".
So, his chief of staff released the text? I didn't even know that. This was his resigned chief of staff that's leaking this information? I didn't even put those together.
John Fetterman of Pennsylvania is losing his chief of staff. Fetterman's office has had some notable staff turnover recently. It comes as he faces increased scrutiny over allegations that...
Oh, I hope they get something on this guy. I want him gone so fucking bad. I'm going to dance, literally. I hate Fetterman as much as I hate Trump, literally.
He's unfit to serve in the Senate.
Pennsylvania politician who was not on the ballot this year has also been at the center of debate, Senator John Fetterman.
Members of his own party have been speaking up with criticism for the senator following votes like the one he just took against a War Power Act yesterday.
So it's just like, it's such a disappointment, Lauren.
Danny Bowder is head of the Philadelphia AFL-CIO, a union that backed Fetterman in his 2022 race.
And it's just so shocking how out of touch, how quickly he became so out.
Yeah, there's a couple things that will drive me to like wish the worst upon you, and mocking affordability surrounding healthcare is one of them. That's one of them right there. Listen, I'm not playing nice anymore. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend I wish the best for Fetterman. I don't wish the best for Fetterman. I hope anything happens to him that will remove him from that position. I do not like him. He's an awful human being. He's a terrible human being. Now, I certainly don't advocate for any kind of violence against him, but I do not sympathize with him in any way whatsoever, health-related, anything whatsoever. Don't give a fuck about his well-being. All right?
Touch.
You mock people, you mock healthcare, people affording healthcare, you're the worst type of human being.
With the needs of regular folks in Philadelphia.
I am very disappointed in him. I regret voting for him. Senator John Fetterman is once again facing questions about stability in his office. His chief of staff, Cabell St. John, resigned this week, making this the latest in a string of high-level departures that have defined his time in Washington. And this exit comes at a moment when the Pennsylvania Democrat is seriously facing the heat from his own party for breaking ranks on key foreign policy.
I never understand this concept. Tommy, this weirdo, is here every single day. Every single day. And yet he's in here complaining every single day. I don't get it. Like, do you watch TV shows you don't like? No. Then why do you watch creators you don't like, you little weirdo? Your watch time is like from the beginning to the end of the live every single day. You're obsessed. Just admit you like it.
Policy votes, including his repeated opposition to efforts limiting President Trump's military actions in Iran. Fetterman's chief of staff, St. John, had been with him since the start of his Senate tenure and only stepped into the top job
his own staff is like, see you later.
Last summer after the previous one resigned. Now her decision to leave makes her the third chief of staff to quit her job with this guy in roughly as many years, which is why the pattern of turnover has become hard to ignore. And guess what? All of the previous top aides have cited the same reason for the resignation, which includes growing discomfort with the senator's direction, his health challenges, and the gap
hate watching is just a fan thing. It's just
between the progressive candidate voters elected in 2022 and the lawmaker he has become. You see, those who worked close.
Okay, so votes
built over time. In fact,
you mentioned war powers. Okay, so votes on war powers resolution are expected this week in the House, in the Senate. You want to constrain the president here very clearly. There are Democrats that are those supporting Trump's operation here, including Senator John Fetterman. He says, based on war powers, this is not an illegal war. You say what?
Well, John Fetterman knows better.
Well, we have this senator. We have two, actually. And I have to be really honest with you, of the two, I have more success in working with the one on the R side of the aisle than I do with the one on the D side of the aisle. And so what I would ask of you all is to continue to help me, help you, help us by calling the office of your choice in the Senate, because that's where it lands right now, and that's where it is right now.
What do you think of Senator Fetterman voting with Republicans on this?
Well, unfortunately at this point, I'm no longer surprised by anything John Fetterman does. Let's not forget he was the only Democrat right after the election to immediately fly to Mar-a-Lago and kiss the ring. Disgusting. And he has acted accordingly over the last year in much the same way.
Reports from former staff also expose erratic behavior and serious concerns about Fetterman's mental health after his 2022 stroke and ongoing depression treatment. In fact, one former chief of staff even reached out to doctors treating the senator to share their worry about Fetterman's delusional thinking and extreme mood swings that seem to affect his work. And while Fetterman has always denied these accounts and called them overblown, the repeated readiness to working with repulsive fighters.
Who wants me to be the 51st vote?
The pitch of being the 51st vote for Democrats was part of the campaign. This week, Fetterman was the key vote, joining not with Democrats, but with Republicans, voting against a war powers resolution restricting the president's actions in Iran.
Real perfect. America's not perfect, but we are the force of good. As Israel
Super chat goal ended. I have to restart it.
Is. If you have to criticize some side, pick our side, stand with, our special ally. And now as Democrat continues to abandon Israel, I'll be the last man standing if that's what's necessary. I mean, I might be the only Democrat that supports, what's happened through Epic Fury, but I am the only Democrat, definitely in the Senate, and now the only Democrat in Congress, I think now, to support Epic Fury at this point. And I'll never understand why my party just can't just see that there's been a lot of good developments through a lot of these things. I mean, I don't, to pulverize the Iranian military.
Michelle, to accept.
How old are you?
I am 57.
Do you support Trump?
57? No.
Okay. Well, okay. Who'd you vote for?
I voted for Biden, but Trump came
Biden
along.
didn't run.
You know. Well, that's what my husband said. I wanted to vote for Trump, okay, because Trump said make America great again, and
Wenchi, thank you for the 50 Norwegian. Appreciate you.
Yeah, fuck you.
Wow. That's profound. Good one. I guess you and your husband can sit there and rot this weekend together. I bet you have many profound conversations, you morons. I don't know who I voted for. What a fucking weirdo.
Every single Democrat has said we can never allow Iran to acquire a nuclear bomb.
Did your husband put you up to that because he was too much of a coward to do it himself? That's probably what it was.
And now they've been the evil regime. And I think eliminating their leadership is a strong development, too. And Hezbollah.
How tough is it for you to go against your colleagues and vote with your...
You could hear the husband in the background, like, tell him Biden.
principles?
I mean, I wouldn't say that it's hard.
Yeah, my husband told me Biden was running is all you need to know.
But I mean, I think in a sense that it's freeing. I mean, you know,
so she's trolling
as a Democrat. But when I'm confronted by things that I happen to agree, I'm going to vote for that, or I'm going to support those kinds of a thing. You know, the Iran situation right now, I'm very much aware how damaged.
Listen, just remember, folks, these people are terrified to admit they support Trump. That's how embarrassed they are. That's how embarrassed they are to admit that they support Trump. I mean, I'd be embarrassed too. Would you be embarrassed? I certainly would be.
Damaging it is as a Democrat to vote with the president or vote through this kinds of thing. And this the seventh time that I've done that because I fundamentally believe that Iran should never acquire a nuclear bomb.
Well, the same nuclear bomb that no intelligence agency can confirm that Iran was on the verge of acquiring. Anyway, Fetterman's support of Israel and Trump is not even the only issue, because the recent War Powers resolution is just the latest. Just this week, the Senate finally advanced a measure aimed at reining in Trump's military engagement in Iran.
Fetterman's probably one of the most dangerous people in politics, obviously, because he represents himself as a Democrat. You know what I mean? It's not like he, you know, those are the most dangerous kind, trying to represent yourself like you're an ally and then representing yourself as a Republican and privately mocking like affordable health care when you claimed you were a fucking progressive who was on board with universal health care when you ran the first time. Disgusting. Lees, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Good work, Adam. Thank you, Lees. Appreciate you so much for the support, Lees. Thank you so much. Seriously.
As it is a conflict the administration launched without clear
only Democrats
home.
Here, listen to this part of this interview here.
Voting no, because he.
I think, you know, I think that that's a shame. And so if they vote it up when we're back in that session, I'll vote that down then too.
You will vote in what way on Tuesday?
Well, of course, I'm going to vote it. I'm going to vote it down. It's really it's not necessary. Honestly, the entire thing. It's really an empty gesture.
And just as expected.
This is insane.
Fetterman in his 2022 race.
And it's just so shocking how out of touch, how quickly he became so out of touch with the needs of regular folks in Philadelphia.
I talked to the candidates running in the 3rd District Democratic primary who would be Fetterman's congressional colleague if they win the seat.
What do you think of the job that he has done, and would you support him for re-election?
Hell no.
No, I would not support him for re-election.
That's Dr. Ayla Stanford. State Representative Chris Rabb says it depends who's running.
I've been very displeased with Senator Fetterman. Very displeased. I am very disappointed in him. I regret voting for him.
In fact, there have also been
Nobody better ever fucking support Fetterman again.
Stances riling Democrats at home amid a larger debate over Fetterman's future and job performance.
A group of people were protesting outside of Senator John Fetterman's home on Braddock Avenue today. The group Indivisible Pittsburgh says Fetterman has been largely absent and non-responsive to the people who voted for him.
Appreciate you, Lady
He's been
Rage.
voting for very different bills. He's voted to support things that the people that voted for him absolutely do not want. And they're extremely upset. Pittsburgh feels betrayed. We've taken thousands of letters to his office. We're outside of his office every Friday at noon with other...
Yeah, so to the person in chat that's trying to justify the hostility defense, the United States attacked Iran in the summer of 2025, bombed their country in multiple different locations. Okay? Our intelligence agencies have indicated that they weren't an imminent threat. So you don't know more than our intelligence agencies, that's for sure. What's your first name?
I'm John Fetterman.
Have a good day. Not playing your troll game, okay? Goodbye. Iran is how you pronounce it. Iran. Okay?
organizations. We've tried on many different levels.
Public polling also shows how much people are disappointed in Fetterman, as a Quinnipiac survey earlier this year showed his approval among Pennsylvania Democrats had...
Paul, you voted for someone in the Epstein files. You have to live with that. I understand that it's frustrating for you, Paul, right? I understand that. But you voted for someone in the Epstein files, and you can't defend it, which is why you're not calling in. But you could call in, Paul, and I'll prove in front of everyone that you knowingly support someone who's protecting PDF files.
Dropped dramatically. Some party members have also started openly criticized aspects the inner work might moves forward
Can
on.
you imagine if me and Fetterman had a conversation? Oof, it would be ugly for him, I'll tell you that. It would be ugly for him. Did you ask the Mossad about the files? You mean, Paul, why don't you ask the most, admittedly, the most pro-Israeli president we've ever had? How about that?
Call from
Matt.
You ready to have a serious conversation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, don't be stupid, okay? You're a grown man. Act like one. So what's up?
I get a kick out of everybody getting so upset over Fetterman. What's the big deal? He's a moderate, man. I don't get it.
Because he ran as a progressive in Pennsylvania, and he's been exposed for privately mocking affordable health care and mocking the Epstein files and things like that. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why you don't get it, okay? Because he's voting. He also voted to confirm Mark Wayne Mullen as the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security.
And what's wrong with that?
Do you know anything about Mark Wayne Mullen?
I don't. Every time Trump does something that people don't like Trump, no. People that don't like Trump, it doesn't matter who Trump wants in his cabinet. They all hate him.
So
I don't understand. I don't understand that.
So I can make a legitimate case as to why this guy shouldn't be the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. You may talk to people in your personal life who don't know what they're talking about, but I do. Do you know anything about Mark Wayne Mullen? Yes or no? Do you know who Mark Wayne Mullen is?
I don't know anything enough about him to have an intelligent conversation.
And that's why you would have no criticisms. Okay, when you have a Department of Homeland Security, okay, ICE falls under that umbrella, who has gone into states and brutalized communities and caused the death of American citizens, and a senator speaks publicly about how troubling it was that American citizens were killed by those immigration agents, right? And that it's unacceptable and that the secretary should step down, which is a statement he made after the death of Alex Preddy because it could not be denied. And then you vote to confirm someone who has advocated for political violence as a solution to political issues, someone who who tried to fight someone physically in the middle of a committee hearing, right? Someone who is a MAGA hardliner, and someone with zero experience in immigration, in DHS policy, in pretty much anything. So I think when you have the Department of Homeland Security do what they've done, and you have ICE do what they've done, the next step needs to be putting someone in there who has experience, someone who knows what they're doing, because clearly we've already seen the consequences of an underqualified person in this case, Kristi Noem, being the head of DHS.
So you don't think that under? Oh, hold on a second.
I bet you're going to bring up Obama or Biden. I bet that's what you're about to do.
No, I'm pointing. You want to point out the fact that you think these people are unqualified. What about all these people that Biden put in under his administration? The dude that was beating people up with his purse, the Rachel Levine. Like, I don't understand.
Again, do you understand that what I'm discussing right now is unprecedented? These are people these are federal agents went into Minnesota and killed innocent American citizens. Do you understand that? American citizens were brutalized as a result of who the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security was. She was a part of this problem. Okay, and it's
Adam, did you watch the video? Did you watch the video that I told you to watch the other day regarding the guy with the handgun, the guy that pulled the handgun off of Alex Preddy? Did you watch that video?
No, I've seen the video 100 times.
No, there are multiple videos, not just one.
Guy, I know
the one from the front obviously looks bad.
Are you trying to justify it does not matter.
It does, because there is nuance.
No, it doesn't. First of all, they do not have jurisdiction over the American people. That's number one. Number two, his firearm was holstered.
They do when you interfere with an investigation.
He wasn't interfering with an investigation. That's not true either.
Being in the middle of the street in front of their car is not interfering with an investigation.
He was not blocking their car. That's not
He was
true.
directing traffic in the middle of the street, dude.
He told someone to pass by him. He was filming ICE agents out of their vehicles in front of Glam Gall Donuts. You don't know what you're talking about. Number two, his firearm was in his holster. It was pulled out of his holster. Out of his holster. He wasn't brandishing it. He wasn't threatening people with it. It was pulled out of his holster, and then the guy yelled, "Gun!" and then they all shot him. That's what happened. That's what we all watched happened.
Okay, and again, if you watch the video, the handgun went off in the officer's hand. Whether or not that is cause to do what they did is debatable, obviously.
No, it's not
but there
debatable.
There are other circumstances.
It's not debatable, dude. Why do you think the federal government is blocking Minnesota? Why do you think they're blocking?
Because there's tons of fraud going on.
Again,
I mean, really?
Again, we just looked this up, right? I just looked this up on PolitiFact. There is no clear confirmed evidence that Alex Preddy's gun went off in the officer's hand before other shots were fired.
PolitiFact is garbage, dude. You got to watch the video.
I'm sure you think I have seen the video, guy. Do you realize how involved
the
in all
video
of this
from
I
behind?
Was? Do you realize
the
how involved
video from
I
behind
was in all of this? Do you realize I'm
sure you were.
I'm sure you were. Individual was killed. I went to where he was murdered. I stood where he died. Do you understand? You
yes,
stop
we
telling
all know
me
this.
to watch videos like you've seen shit I haven't seen. And by the way, just playing with your hypothetical, okay? Playing with your hypothetical.
It's not a hypothetical.
Again,
the gun went off in the officer's hand, dude. I'm telling you the truth. You just don't want to listen.
Again, playing with your hypothetical, right? That would not justify his death.
My God. I never
would
said
not justify
his death. His death was not justified either way. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm pointing out the fact that there is nuance to what happened.
What you're missing is the death is the result of the policies of Donald Trump and the execution of those policies by the Department of Homeland Security. Kristi Noem was fired. Greg Bovino was fired also. Those two weren't fired for no reason. They were removed because of what happened there. Okay?
Sure.
You weren't there.
And it looked
you don't
bad.
know. And clearly you're not educated to understand what the environment was like at the time because ICE agents were attacking American citizens.
That were getting in their way, dude.
No, they weren't. Dude, I was there. I'm telling you that's not the case. They were walking.
I'm not saying tensions weren't high.
Literally
I mean,
stood
we
tell me this.
that.
Tell me this. I was standing on the sidewalk one day, right? Just protesting, right? It's about 10 o'clock at night. ICE agents came out of the Whipple building and were in my face, pushing me. How am I in the way? I'm on a public sidewalk, nowhere near them, protesting, exercising my constitutional right outside the building they're holding prisoners in. They walked up and started pushing. How am I in their way?
Was that when they instituted a curfew?
What? There was no curfew.
Wasn't there a curfew at some point during all that?
No, there was no curfew.
All right, maybe I misunderstood that.
So we were standing there protesting, right? And by the way, they wouldn't enforce a curfew. They are immigration customs enforcement.
No, so the police, not ICE. I thought the police
were not. The police weren't doing this. I'm not talking about the police. Are you listening? I'm talking about
what you
ICE.
said.
The police are not stationed there. This was ICE. ICE came out of the Whipple Federal Building. This is where ICE was stationed. They would come out in fatigues, line up, and walk across the street and assault us. That's not being in the way, okay?
Like they beat you guys all up?
Yes.
They walked up to you and just beat you guys?
Yes.
Man, it must suck being you guys. Holy crap. You guys must have been really pissing them off.
Listen, you're a fucking coward. That's why you were at home, you fucking coward. That's why you were at home doing fucking nothing while your country's being taken from you, while your constitution's being destroyed. You were on your couch, sitting on your fucking hands like the rest of you maggots who cry about the Second Amendment. Oh, I care. Right to bear arms. Right to bear arms. And then someone you disagree with is exercising their constitutional right to bear arms. And what do? You fucking justify his death by the federal government? You guys believe in nothing. You stand for nothing. Okay? You stand for nothing. Bobo, stop projecting onto me. Just because you've been called a simp in your life doesn't mean you should now use that word on other people. Okay? What a dumb question. So stupid. And it's just, I just mute stupid questions. Like, you're not calling in, you just get muted. Just too stupid. Trump is the greatest president ever. These leftists are insane mental patients. What the fuck? Look at this. This is a real human being. Like, this is MAGA in a nutshell right here. Like, look at these comments. Look at this comment. Read this comment. Trump is the greatest president ever. These leftists are insane mental patients. Like patients? Like I'm a patient? Jesus Christ, this fucking idiot. God help us all. God help us all. God help us all, folks. We are being held hostage by complete morons. I mean, it is remarkable these people are able to operate doors, let alone vote. Like, it is actually remarkable that they're able to even walk through a door. You think that's a child? That's not a child. These are adults. Sad as it is, these are fucking adults. Pathetic. Oh, Alan, believe me, we understand that. Just understand this, Alan, majority of the country doesn't support this shit, okay? So I see you guys from other countries saying, like, it's making the U.S. look bad. Look, we understand that. I want you guys to understand we are not the government. We can't stand this guy either. And we're trying to push back against it, but unfortunately, we have a bunch of chuds in the country we have to push back against. It's not been easy. Okay, Christopher Adams, why don't you call in with your solution, okay? Do you have a solution, Christopher Adams? That's definitely the message we should be sending before the most important midterms of our life. Don't vote. That's definitely what we should be doing. Oh, dear God. Oh, yeah, you support Trump, and supporting Trump in another country is even weirder than the MAGA people here. You know? It's mad how he got in for a second term. I don't get that, because we have these, well, it's a long conversation, but basically MAGA is like a continuation of the Confederacy, basically. A lot of these people are just bigots. They hate certain communities of people. Trump supports going after those communities. So can you shut the fuck up? No one even saw your comment. We are the good people, all right? You're a chud. No one's listening to you. Have a good day. You're banned. Cry more.
Dude, I sign on YouTube and all I see is this guy complaining about Trump.
Una, thank you so much for the Venmo, Una. That's going to trigger that Trump supporter that was just complaining about people supporting and telling people not to support. He's about to cry. He's been in here several times. So I want to explain to you, we are the good people too. I'm looking at your channel activity. You have been watching me for months. You have left so many comments. You know we can see your channel activity, right? The reason you're seeing my live is because you engage with my content, right? That's why you see my live, okay? It's not that hard to figure out. It's called an algorithm, Muppet. Okay? It's called an algorithm. You're engaging with the live, therefore you're seeing the live. But the good part now is, we are the good people. Nobody can see you. So now you're just permanently disappeared. No one can see you. I went to your page and you're a wicked Trump supporter.
GSP Scott. The left pushed the agendas of the fascists.
You know, fascism is a right-wing ideology, chud. It's that simple. A right-wing ideology, not a left-wing. David, listen, I know it looks like that from the outside, but when you vote for someone in the Epstein files, you know, listen, typically people who stand against, you know, being a PDF file and stuff, you know, typically PDF files don't like them, which is why you have a problem with it, David. You voted for someone in the Epstein files, and that's it, period. You voted for someone in the Epstein files. I don't know what to tell you, man. If I voted for someone in the Epstein files, I'd be embarrassed. I'd be fucking embarrassed. But somehow they're not embarrassed. Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy? Summer Shade, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says, I keep picturing maggots trying to open doors now. They don't. They struggle with it. Clearly. Yes, Alan, that's exactly what's happening, unfortunately. But I kind of knew that we predicted he was going to do that. No one believed the No New Wars agenda. No one believed it. The only people that believed it was MAGA. So when MAGA runs around like, oh, he lied to us, we didn't know this was going to happen, it's because they're not paying attention. Donald Trump had 38,000 documented lies during his first term. Guys, this guy says, Adam is a republic. Adam is a republic. Ah, chick. Adam is a republic. Ah, chick. Fucking complete moron.
Adam is a republic.
Kirk, of course you would advocate for Trump in 2028. You don't care about the Constitution. You think you're hurting my feelings by announcing that you would vote for Trump for a third term? I'm not shocked. Of course you would. You don't care about the Constitution. It's that simple. You know? It's just so fun silencing them, isn't it? Clinley, or Clinzy, or whatever the hell your fucking weird name is, call in right now and we'll have a conversation about it. How about that? It's as simple as that. Call in right now and we'll have a conversation about it. To whoever this 828 number is, I'm not picking up. Anyone who calls me 60 times in 2 minutes is not getting an answer. It means you're an unhinged psychopath, and I don't want you anywhere near me. Kathy Smith, thank you for the $2 super chat. Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate you. Oh, I love dunking on these guys. They just cry. It's the best. It's the absolute best. This is why they push AI. It feeds misinformation. True. True. And they're easy to fool, too. Remember, you're talking about a population of people who have no ability to think critically. You have to remember that. These people don't even have the defense mechanisms to defend themselves against the misinformation being spread by Republicans. You know, they don't even have the ability to defend themselves. It's like going into a sword fight with no shield. These people don't have the education to even defend themselves, and they usually grew up in an environment of bigotry, all right, and misogyny, and then anti-LGBTQI plus and anti-immigration, and that's, you know, so it's a lot of it too is this confirmation bias. This guy has called me.
John.
You have called me 65 times. What is wrong with you?
And you answered. You weren't answering. I had to call back.
That's deeply... Whenever someone calls me that many times, I get deeply troubled. They're unhinged. And I deliberately ignore them.
Okay. Well, I mean, since you were talking about ICE, and in particular, a couple nights ago, you were going on about how they were wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, do you ever watch TV at all? Do you not notice that every single government, police in Mexico, they all wear masks?
In Mexico?
Yeah, in Mexico, they all... I know you've seen it on. Don't play dumb now.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Do you know why?
Yeah, because they don't want to be seen. That's the same reason the ICE was wearing a mask.
Excuse me, sir. It's because they're dealing with cartels who murder them.
Right, but so is ICE. They're dealing with Mexicans.
ICE is dealing with the American public.
But you know the cartels are going to see them too.
The cartels are not unaliving. Can you give me a case where the cartels unaliving ICE agents for participating in deportation?
They're not going to take that chance. They're not going to take that chance.
Dude,
that's what I'm saying.
They're not deporting cartel members, my guy. Stop it. Just stop.
There's no, and even American cops. Some American cops wear masks. The other issue was you kept going on about, like every time, the Epstein files. Do you know that every president all across the world have done far worse things than Donald Trump when it comes to like Epstein file behavior?
What do you mean? To specify what behavior?
Well, I guarantee all these other countries, Russia, North Korea, all these South American countries.
What behaviors are you talking about?
Sexual misconduct, whatever would be in the Epstein file. Isn't that what that file is?
So you're saying that it's okay because you think other corrupt people in other countries have committed the same thing?
You're holding him to a higher standard than every other country in the world. As a matter of fact, every other male in the world. That's what males do.
This is a disgusting take. This isn't. Why are you? They always laugh whenever they get embarrassed. Like they always laugh. It's
I'm not
their defense mechanism. Of course, I don't doubt that you're not embarrassed. You seem kind of simple. I don't know that you're capable of being embarrassed, but that's besides the point. Let me address your first thing. Number one, police officers have to identify themselves by law. So no, they don't wear masks. Okay, there's laws.
They have masks in Mexico, not Mexico.
We're not
Mexico.
talking about Mexico. We don't live in Mexico. We don't live in a
They don't
lawless,
have to identify
We don't
themselves.
live. You're making the point when you reference Mexico. We don't live in a lawless state like Mexico. We don't
Not
live in a
special
place
agents.
where the cartel takes over and unalives hundreds of people. We don't
DEA,
live in that kind of country.
DEA wears masks all the time. All types of special agents wear masks all the time.
Excuse me. Police officers have to identify themselves. ICE agents wearing masks when they have no jurisdiction over the American people while simultaneously brutalizing that population.
No, they do unless they see somebody breaking a law. Unless they witness somebody breaking a law, then they do have jurisdiction over
wrong.
that person.
That's incorrect.
If it's kind of like
That's
a hot
incorrect.
pursuit thing.
That is incorrect.
Look it up.
No, I don't need to look it up. I have many times. You don't know what you're talking about. That would be overreach. If an ICE agent sees people breaking the law, like speeding, for instance, they don't have the authority to pull that person over. They need to call the police department, and the police department will handle that, right? It's traffic division.
If
They
it's
do
a
not
danger,
have the
if
same
it's a
authority.
danger,
No, they don't. They have
even
no
police
more-
officers,
they
if they're
don't.
out of their jurisdiction
No,
and they
don't.
witness something
they don't
dangerous,
have jurisdiction. They don't have jurisdiction over the American people. They have jurisdiction over undocumented immigrants. You don't know what you're talking about. You're wrong. You're incorrect. You're misinformed.
people have to have
You don't know what
ID
you're
and they can detain them until they get their ID.
No, that is not true. So if they have probable cause that they believe someone is an undocumented immigrant, yes, they can detain them. And there's issues with that as well, constitutionally. Okay. But that's besides the point. Right now, what I'm explaining to you is American citizens, right? ICE can't just decide someone's breaking the law and arrest them. It's not true. It's incorrect. It would be overreach. They do not have jurisdiction over the American population. So if they know someone's an American citizen, they can't interfere with anything. Now, if the only cases in which ICE can arrest an American citizen is if an American citizen is deliberately obstructing an investigation. So let's say they're trying to break into a home. An American citizen comes up and says, you can't go inside this house, and blocks them. They could arrest that person. That's obstruction of justice. So that's a case where an ICE agent would be able to arrest an American citizen. But they can't just go around and arrest American citizens for committing crimes. We have police for that. That's what police do. And they have jurisdiction, right? And that is the distinct difference.
The other issue was you were talking about jobs.
So
we're
at issue 1. Now we're at issue 2.
Okay.
I've debunked both of those. Now we're at issue 3.
I have multiple issues.
Are you
You're
willing
correct,
to concede to the other 2 that I just debunked?
No,
So what's the point?
What's
the point in going? Why are we still talking?
I would like the audience to decide. I would like the audience to decide for themselves.
All right, let's read what the audience is saying. Let's read.
No,
Here's what
so
they're saying.
the other issue
the
is
audience
jobs.
is saying you're wrong, incorrect. No, that's wrong.
There's a lot of people agreeing with. I don't get like a dual internet
If people
when
agree
I'm
with
on
you,
the
they're
phone.
stupid. You can Google it in 5 minutes and see I'm correct and you're incorrect. Takes 5
Look,
seconds.
well,
Have you ever?
Okay,
Googled
let's as long as I can voice my opinion. Okay, let's just say you're right. Okay, the other issue was jobs. You were talking about jobs and you wanted the minimum wage to be increased, but you failed to acknowledge that when you do that, employers fire people and they essentially get robots and artificial intelligence to take jobs from people.
So that's not what the argument was. What the argument was, right, was that this person's employer hired undocumented immigrants at a lower wage. And what I was explaining to this individual is you need to stop blaming workers, whether they're undocumented or documented, and blame the company who sets the wage, right, for this corporation, right, for this company. That's the boogeyman, not the undocumented immigrant. They're making the decision. But what he was saying was that they shouldn't be working for these low wages, and if we raised wages, then American citizens
have less jobs.
Shut up for a second. that if we raised wages, then we would have Americans more interested in working in the sectors that undocumented immigrants work in agriculture, in construction, in the food service industry, in the like night industry, clubs and things like that. We would have more Americans interested in working those positions had you raised the wages. And what I was explaining to him is, guess what? Democrats tried to do that. Democrats advocate for raising the federal minimum wage. That's currently $7.25 an hour. Republicans oppose it. So his point made no sense. You understand? You can't advocate for raising wages. You can't advocate for raising wages and then blame undocumented immigrants for working for minimum wage. And American citizens refusing to do so.
Do you know that what they do? Well, not all of them, but the ones that have families in Mexico, they will work up here and they will send money back to Mexico, like the majority of what they get. Now, what do you think that does to the United States?
What I know is undocumented immigrants contribute a significant amount of money. First of all, I agree people who work here should contribute to the economy here first. Absolutely. But what I'm telling you is that actually they do. They contribute $100
Well, they do some, of course. They have
do
to
a
survive.
lot. No, they do a lot. They contribute $100 billion.
Right. That number is not a lot. Look at the debt.
It is a lot. It is a lot.
Look at the United States deficit, the debt.
That's not what
we accumulate $5 billion a day in debt. So I referenced those numbers you were talking about. We spent that amount of money in the Iran war within the first day or two. That number is not as large of a number as you're making it out to be.
First of all, you realize the number that they're saying for Iran is less than that, right? And
it was $100 billion in the first week.
Okay, so first of all, you're not really understanding this argument, and I'm not sure if it's because you're dumb or you're being disingenuous, but let me explain your first part here, okay? Undocumented immigrants spend a ton of money here, okay? A ton of money.
Of course, they have to live.
Okay,
they have to survive.
Do you know what their spending power is?
When they're that small of a percentage of...
Take a guess.
I don't know. I'm
it's
happy to admit I don't know.
It's above $300 billion in annual spending power.
Well, percentage-wise, what is that compared to what the rest of the people spend?
What do you mean the rest of the people? They're a smaller population of people.
Everybody else. They're probably spending like 2%. These billion-dollar numbers you need to start talking trillions. If you want to make a difference in the debt of the United States, or if you want people to contribute to the United States, they need to be in the trillions and not billions.
Trillions, really? Okay, so you understand the difference when it comes to taxes, for instance, right? We talked about contributing $100 billion at a federal, state, and local level. You understand why it makes a difference when undocumented immigrants contribute that number than American citizens, because American citizens take out of that same system. Undocumented immigrants pay into systems that the federal law explicitly prohibits them from benefiting from, like Social Security. So they're largely subsidized.
How are they paying into it? If they're undocumented, how are they paying into it?
Because they're issued what's called an individual taxpayer identification number, which
let's be realistic. How many of them actually do that?
Many.
I've hired them before. I do carpentry type work. I'm giving you a real life situation.
An anecdote. Go ahead.
I hire them. I not every day, but when I decide to take on a property, I hire them for certain tasks. None of them, they usually come in cheaper than, let's say, like a licensed and insured.
All right, that's fine, but that doesn't change the fact that immigrants overall, including undocumented, pay more in taxes per capita than the average U.S. citizen. Okay, because they work at higher rates and they pay into the systems like Social Security without being eligible for those benefits, which is what I was trying to explain to you. They're subsidizing programs that American citizens benefit from. They don't get, and so they receive what's called an individual taxpayer identification number, which doesn't grant you work authorization, doesn't grant you citizenship status, documentation status, doesn't grant you anything other than tax compliance. It allows you to remain tax compliant. Okay, so it's actually more than American citizens. They pay more in taxes per capita than the average U.S. born person.
Well, I don't, and I don't mean to.
So, are you going to concede that you were wrong again on the third issue?
No, absolutely not. And I don't. I'm not. I don't.
So why don't we look it up then?
Okay.
Yeah. Why don't you look up the things that I'm saying?
Oh, I don't. I could. I'm not going to look up.
Do you want to do like a Cato study? Is that good for you?
I can tell you right now that
let's see. Immigrants reduced deficits by $14.5 trillion since 1994. So we have an immigrants' recent effects on government budgets,
massively
1994 into 2023.
Our
so
debt
it's not
keeps
the duty
going up.
of undocumented immigrants. Undocumented immigrants are paying, and I just explained. I literally just told you.
Yeah, but they're
$14.5 trillion since 1994.
How much of a percentage are they?
This guy just.
How much of a percentage?
He's just going to keep talking. So every year since 1994, when data collection began, immigrants have paid more in taxes than they have received in benefits from federal, state, and local governments. Means they're a net positive. They're not taking out of the system. The fiscal benefits have continued to rise from their presence. Okay? The fiscal surplus from all immigrants from 1994 to 2023 was $14.5 trillion, compared with a deficit of $48 trillion without immigrants, which means immigrants cut deficits by nearly a third in real terms over the last 3 decades. Period.
Well, what about all the heroin and meth they bring up?
Do you want to read the study? I'll literally pull it up right now. Hold on.
What do you think about how much money goes to that?
Let me see if I can pull up the graph right now.
How is that? Do you think that's ruining the United States? You're going to deny that?
So this is the fiscal surplus generated by immigrants cut U.S. deficits by a third. Here. Let's see. Do you want to go over this or not? You want to look it up? Do you have Google with you? Look up Cato study. Look up Cato study. Immigrants reduced deficits by $14.5 trillion since 1994. I'm looking at it right now.
I don't, and it's not only that. I don't know what state you live in, but it doesn't matter who they are. There's just plain too many people.
Did you mention
every time I go out into?
Did you mention drugs as something?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Do you know that drugs are primarily trafficked by American citizens through legal border crossings, not illegal border crossings, and things like international
I've heard you say that before, and I know there's tunnels.
Like everything else I say.
There's tunnels that they use and all this and that, and if it's not coming from Mexico, then it's coming in from China or somewhere else like that. It's just a lot of the points you're making. I don't think that they're designed for the guy that's like hitting the bong on the couch, and
dude,
he doesn't really have much depth of thought into it.
Can you debunk what I'm saying? Can you debunk what I'm saying? I literally provided you data from 1994 to 2023 rather than a 1-year snapshot. I didn't give you a projection. I gave you from 1994 to 2023. And I literally told you that the fiscal surplus, what the fiscal surplus was compared to the deficit without immigrants, right? And what they cut, which was nearly a third over the last 3 decades, which is the exact opposite of what you just claimed when you came in here.
How big of a percentage in society are there? I want you to look that up.
He's still just going to keep saying the same thing.
How big of a percentage in society?
Biggest percentage. What do you mean by that?
Like, you know how whites accumulate for like almost half, and then you got 10% black or 20% black. How much of a percentage do they account for?
What does that matter? Much less.
That matters a bunch, because And I don't know the exact answer to that question. That's why I'm asking, because it's like I said before.
What percentage of the population are undocumented immigrants?
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you the exact percentage. Let's see. What percentage of the population, and by the way, this includes immigrants, but what population?
Well, but it doesn't matter, because if they have kids, then they're automatically a citizen here.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they're documented, and they're you don't understand.
No, actually,
that.
I do, and I can explain that as well. This is something that's cited in the FAIR study, and it's very easy to disprove. When you're counting kids, right? When you're trying to come up with the overall fiscal burden of undocumented immigrants, you can't count children unless
they don't have the
Can
values.
you shut the fuck up while I explain this? You might actually learn something. Okay, stop talking. You're very misinformed. I'm trying to be patient with you.
I'm going to reply after this.
You don't know what you're talking about. Let me explain. So the FAIR study tries to use the same argument, right, to try and establish that undocumented immigrants are a net negative, because children born to undocumented immigrants in the United States, of course, are citizens. We all understand that, right? The problem is that you can't just count the cost of children to undocumented immigrants without considering their future tax contributions. You have to consider future tax contributions because they are American citizens to offset the fiscal burden. If you only include the cost, then you're unfairly inflating that same burden. That's why it's very important when we're talking about these things to know what you're talking about. You're not including what they will contribute in tax revenue as a tax-paying American citizen.
Well, our deficit is still way out of control, and the thing is
that's not the result of undocumented immigrants.
They have to spend that billions of dollars on the wall and on the government agents at the border and all this and that. They have to spend what they're giving them to police their own people.
Again, it's not the result of undocumented immigrants is all I'm saying. That was your argument, and I simply proved it's not. Undocumented immigrants are a net positive. Okay, they're a net positive. What, do you even know what the drivers of the deficit are?
It's Social Security. It's
Medicare, Medicaid.
Yeah, healthcare.
Okay. And what else?
And what else?
Tax cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What else?
I don't know what else after that.
Are any of these undocumented immigrants?
Their kids are going to be, and that's what I was saying earlier. That the kids don't have the values of the older generation. The kids that are born here, they don't have they're growing up into American garbage, like the ghetto. They don't have the values of the older Mexicans that come over the border in search of jobs. That's not what the kids do.
What are you?
The kids are essentially black. The kids aren't Mexican anymore.
You're stupid, dude. You've reached just the stupid part of the argument. Not even worth my time at that point. It's not even worth my fucking time. You're just a bigot who gets proven wrong and then won't concede. Just a bigot. Just another bigot, as we end up finding out. He wants the answer. I provide him a study that quite literally proves the exact opposite. The exact opposite. And those fiscal benefits continue to rise. They reached their highest level ever last year. It's unbelievable. It really is. That's your guy, MAGA. That's your guy. Lordy. See, it doesn't make a difference if you actually, provide them a study or you just say it off the top of your head. It doesn't matter. They don't give a shit. They really don't. Somebody in here wrote, Trump is going to be the ruler of... Trump rules. Third-term president... Protesters are treasonous. King Donald J. Trump, sick. MAGA, these are your people right here. These are your people, MAGA. Lordy. You have incredible patience, Adam. Well, because I'm trying to prove him wrong, right? Like, if he just comes up and says this shit and I don't prove him wrong, then goofies in the chat think he's right, right? These MAGA Muppets think he's right. It's very important to provide the correct answer, right? Let me explain this because he wasn't listening, okay? Number one, they're a net positive. But when it comes to children, by the way, this is not uncommon. Republicans do this all the time. They try and use children, right? They try and say, oh, now, of course, when you point out the fact they're going to contribute through our tax system significantly, right? They're going to continue to work. They're going to work. I mean, that's what they're going to do. He starts to say that they don't have the values because really it was a disingenuous argument from the start. But it's not something that's uncommon. Like I stated before, this is in the FAIR study. This is in the FAIR study. They counted the cost of children, American-born, to undocumented immigrants to try and inflate the fiscal burden. The same thing he just tried to do. The same thing he just tried to do. We got some crying in the chat here. What's going on? Should we call somebody back? Should we call back as Nancy? Should we be Nancy, chat?
Hello? Welcome to the voicemail.
5737999.
Hello, it's your favorite president.
01.
Unbelievable president.
Please leave your message after the tone. After you have finished your message, just hang up. Or to hear more options, please press 1.
Hello, it's your favorite president, an unbelievable president. So true. I love you so much. Thank you for calling.
Let's call and see if we can get Nancy on the line here. Laura, thank you for the $5 super chat, Laura. W. Laura in the chat.
Hello? Hello?
Call from.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, how are you? Are you calling for Adam Gray?
No, I'm calling into a live stream.
Yes, Adam Gray's live stream. I basically make sure you're not AI before I put you through.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm not.
Okay, well, no problem. So can I ask you 3 quick questions? What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Okay, what's your favorite car?
Solera 01.
And are you single?
Yes.
I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to flirt. So, anyway. Do you want me to put you through, honey?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too.
Yes. Are you a Trump supporter, 214?
Hell no.
Okay, what's going on?
What up, my man? Shit, I was listening. I was just tuned into the live stream, and I figured I'd call the number. That last guy was genuinely one of the most retarded people I've ever heard.
Yeah, but you can't use that R word, bro. You can't use that R word.
You're totally right. Sorry, this is YouTube.
That's
My
a
bad.
slur,
My
dude.
bad.
You know that's a slur, right?
Yeah, I don't use it in that light, though. Not at all.
It doesn't matter. It's a slur. You cannot, please not use that word. Okay? It is extremely inappropriate.
All right, dude.
What's up? You know what? Get lost. Jesus. It's fucking. You don't understand? It's a slur, bro. Just accept it and move on. Okay? You don't gotta fucking be, all right, dude. Like, you know, just be like, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said it. You know?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's a slur. And if you say it on my live, I'm dropping you. That's all there is to it.
Telephone number 21469522146. Can't.
All right, we had a couple more. Let's see here. 708 and 223 number called. This guy said, I use the R word. This is America. I hate First Amendment rights. It's not a slur. Fucking millennial. You can just tell that dude's a...
Your call has been forwarded.
Did you guys read that comment in the chat? Listen, let me read it out loud in his voice. I use the R word. This is America. I has First Amendment rights. It's not a slur. Fucking millennial.
Call from
Tristan.
Hello, how old are you, Tristan?
Why are you talking like that?
Because I feel like it.
What?
I have to pass you over to Adam. We need to know that you're not AI before I do.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay, sending you over.
All right.
223, how old are you?
18.
I don't normally talk to people who are 18, dude. You're kind of young. What year were you born? You're not 18. Have a good day. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir. Kilo Whiskey says, this dude's weird. Well, you must be new here, cuck. And don't ever disrespect Nancy ever again. It's my secretary. How do you think we make sure people aren't AI, dude? We have to check. God, you guys are so defensive. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I think I'm very funny, as a matter of fact. I think I'm hilarious. I think I'm very funny. I think a lot of people would agree. I think a lot of people would agree. That's why you're watching, right? Can we go caroling? We should go caroling at MAGA houses. Time for a girlfriend. Trump call-in show joke. They're so triggered, dude. Summer Shade, thank you for the $2 super chat. Appreciate you, Summer Shade. Thank you so much, Summer Shade. Using Jesus Christ is not a slur. Shut up, bro. Bro's trying to compare saying Jesus Christ to the R slur. Oh my God. Oh my God. I know a lot of these maggots are just like, they're either like kids or they're fucking like old dudes that have no idea. They don't watch TikTok, so they don't know who I am on TikTok. They just come in here and spam dumb shit, you know. They're on their couch in their boxers. You know, their wife's at work, probably working 2 jobs, you know, and they're sitting on their fucking gigantic ass iPad with a fucking gigantic pen typing like, you need a girlfriend. Oh, I know, Spicy. It's fucking pathetic. One time you said Jesus and got banned off the school computer. What? If you are a Trump supporter and you're crying in the chat, call in 908-652-3703. We're not interested in your crying. You'll just get muted. Okay? That's all we'll do.
Yes, they are infringing on our rights. Mac Mitten, why don't you done call in? Okay? Lee, stop crying. No one can read your comments. You get muted before anyone can even read it. So they just keep crying. Like, oh my God. Just keep crying. Keep crying, Fear Echo Gaming. Guys, I'm going to start a YouTube channel called Fear Echo Gaming. You even have a fucking intro to your channel, and you have 170 followers. Like, think about that. You're a joke. All right? Stop calling other people a joke in the chat. You're talking about my channel? I've been debating on here for a year. A year. How long have you been on here debate? How long have you been fucking making these stupid videos? 6? Goof. You suck. How about that? Liz, thank you so much, Liz. Appreciate you, Liz. Yeah, you would think they're fucking kids, but they're not. They're fucking adults. It's going to be a Twitch streamer. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck, Twitch streamer. I'm going to be a famous Twitch streamer. No, you're not. You suck at it. All right? I don't pick up unknown numbers. Sorry, Chud. The wannabe Twitch streamers are always the biggest haters. They're the ones that cry the most in my chat. The wannabe Twitch streamers. I'm going to be a Twitch streamer one day. And their wife is like, please stop this fucking shit. No, I'm going to do it, I swear. I'm going to hate on people on YouTube and say their channel sucks when I have a whole channel dedicated to my Twitch career. Is that a real background? Yes. Of course it is, dude. Doesn't it look like one? Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's an illusion. Oh, this ought to be good.
Call from Southpaw Funding.
Southpaw. Are you a Trump supporter?
No, Mac Mitten's talking crazy about me and
shut the fuck up. We're not in here to fucking don't give a shit. Wait until November. We haven't really heard them cry just yet. Oh, Cody, trust me. I'm telling you right now. After the midterms, if we have a successful midterm, the meltdown these people are going to have is going to be so sweet. And by the way, if you just go off Trump's approval rating and you look at how like individual issues are polling, Republicans are going to have a hard time. Okay? But again, I'm kind of concerned about the legitimacy of everything. I've talked about this before. You know, whether it's putting ICE agents at polling locations or interfering, I don't know. I'm obviously concerned. If you guys saw the new Ashley St. Clair stuff, if you don't know about this, you're probably not on TikTok. But if you follow me on TikTok, you would know about this. Make sure you follow on TikTok, by the way. You would know about this. Ashley St. Clair has been basically claiming that Elon Musk fixed the election in so many words. And that and a lot of other information too, honestly. And it's not just Elon Musk's girlfriend, it's Elon Musk's child's mother. Oh yeah. Look, MAGA's hella violent, so I would imagine there'll be some kind of backlash. The good part is, though, they will effectively shut down Trump's presidency. You know, and I think they'll have a clash at some point because he'll ignore Congress and he'll be removed, I would imagine. But I just know if we have the blue wave that I desire, that it will be such a relief. I'll probably take 2 weeks off and go to the beach. Although it'll be the middle of winter. I don't give a shit. I'll take 2 weeks off and just hang out down by the ocean if we have a blue wave. Like literally, I would be time for me to do a complete reset. Trump can't be reelected, boiling frog. It's in violation of the 22nd Amendment of the Constitution. Do you believe in the Constitution? Because the Constitution says Donald Trump can't be reelected. So these guys claim they support the country, and they're advocating for violating a constitutional amendment. Make it make sense. Justin, why don't you call in and let's discuss what extreme leftism means? Because you know what extreme leftism means, folks? It means worker protections. It means stronger unions. It means health care. It means child care. It means affordable wages. That's what radical leftism is. Better for all of us. Guys talk about, like, literally, they're not equivalent. The right's left is just violent. The right's left sucks. Right?
Call from.
So you have to be. Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
No.
Who'd you vote for?
I want to ask you, can't remember her name, the girl you were just talking about.
I was not talking about anyone.
Yeah, Elon's baby.
Oh, Ashley St. Clair,
Mama.
yeah.
Ashley St. Clair. So you saw the election with Massey and the other guy this last couple days.
I did, yes.
His numbers, the other guy, I don't know his name. His numbers went up like 300% what they were projecting.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly. So what if we're in that situation? And what if when the election comes around, we get another situation like that where the Republicans do what they magically did in 24.
So the thing about the Massey election that I think is the reason you're seeing what you're seeing in terms of the numbers is they spent more money on that election than any other House primary in history.
Right.
Any other primary. This guy's trying to advertise his right-wing YouTube channel in the chat. Yeah, no one's listening to that shit, bro. So they spent over $34 million. I'm talking about AIPAC, Israeli PACs. Foreign lobbies dropped over $34 million into this primary, the most expensive House primary in the history of our country. So what's concerning is that a foreign lobby can dump that much money into a country to make sure an anti-AIPAC, anti-Israel, and by the way, he was the co-author of the Epstein Transparency Act, so let's throw that in there too. Make sure that candidate loses. That's what's concerning. You know?
So what I'm getting at is, at a base level, we're all just animals living on this planet. The president isn't a special animal. Elon Musk isn't a special animal. I'm not. You're not. We're all just the same. And we come together as a society to put these people in power to have society function in a certain way. We have this agreement we call the Constitution, that those are the rules that we're supposed to abide by. That's not happening. So
no, it's not.
It's up to us to not let that happen. So where's that line? Because this administration is literally killing us.
So that's what I'm trying to explain to you. I think that the issue is even deeper than this administration. I mean, when you talk about pro-Israel groups tied to AIPAC and super PACs and these organizations, yeah, and we're talking about in excess of $34 million spent on advertising and campaign activity, making it the most expensive House primary ever recorded. So an anti-Israel candidate doesn't win elections. Clearly, we have deeply rooted issues. Now, Trump is the most pro-Israeli president we've ever had, which is why we're seeing some of these things. I mean, he's definitely, AIPAC in human form, and he didn't want Massey to win, obviously. But I understand what you're saying. When they're not agreeing to the rules, which are the Constitution and democracy and things like that, where's the line, right? That's your question. I often ask myself that same question. I'm not going to lie to you. That is something I'm struggling with deeply right now. I actually talked about this morning. It's funny that you bring this up. I actually talked about this morning because I had this thought last night. Every once in a while, it just pops in my head, and I think, what are we really doing? I mean, these people are fine with, I mean, you see it in the chat. They're okay with running for a third term. That's in violation of the Constitution. They're fine with American citizens being executed for, using their constitutional right to carry or voice their opinion, freedom of expression, right? Protesting, all of these things. They don't respect elections. I mean, I talked about this morning too. The Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, when she testified in front of the committee, would not say, "I won't put ICE agents at polling locations." I mean, that's against federal law, and she was informed. I'm talking about Kristi Noem. She was informed, right? That's against federal law. Would you still obey that order? She wouldn't answer. Mark Wayne Mullen was asked the same question. The new Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, would you put ICE agents at polling locations even though explicitly prohibited by federal law? He wouldn't answer. So I do think they're going to do things. I think that's the line for me. As much as I thought about this, I think we've already crossed it, truthfully, to be honest, in responding to your question. But I think that the midterms are going to tell people a lot about where this country's going, whether or not they're going to go there. Do you know what I mean? I think it will be blatantly obvious if it happens during the midterms. I think it's less so when it came to the last federal election. And I think that's the moment where we're going to have to make a real decision. Not much that I could discuss here specifically, but I think that would be the moment where Americans should say enough is enough, truthfully. So I am hoping, okay? I am holding my breath and hoping that the midterms go the way they're supposed to go and people get out and vote like they've never voted before, and we, see what I expect we should see. And if we don't, I think we're going to have one of two options, right? And one of them is going to be accepting that this country is going to be a conservative Christian nationalist shithole. So, and the other one's obvious. But again, I don't advocate for any illegal anything. I don't try and promote people to commit any kind of violence. I don't advocate for violence or anything like that. So, I think we need to do it through voting. If you get what I'm saying,
you start contemplating the avenue of violence, and it's never good. It's, I don't know.
No, what you're struggling, dude, you're totally valid in what you're feeling right now. I'm telling you, I feel the exact same thing. These systems, right, that we're supposed to agree to constitutionally, right, democratically, these are things we're supposed to both agree. Whether we disagree on policies or whatever, that doesn't matter. We're supposed to agree to these set of rules. You don't infringe, regardless of one's political affiliation, with their constitutional rights, right? You don't interfere with elections. You don't do this, you don't do that. And when you see them ignoring the courts, for instance, and you see things like just recently, this settlement, right? Instituting this provision, this waiver in the settlement that doesn't allow for the IRS to audit the president for any past tax crimes before May 2026. Well, you see these things just repeatedly against the law, right? Just against law, blatantly illegal. The war in Iran's illegal. I mean, just everything about this administration, they just blatantly break the law. You start to question, if they're not playing by the rules, why are we? So I understand that. I totally get it. All I would say is, I think the best thing we could possibly do at this point, right, is advocate for people to vote. We need to fucking vote, man. We need to vote like we've never voted before.
As bad as these people have been for our country, that's not what bothers me the most. It's what we're doing to the rest of the world. If all of the penalties for electing this idiot were on us, then I'm okay with that. I'm more okay with that. If it was us that were starving and us that were dying out, and just our medical and our social safety nets and everything else that they've destroyed, science, it sucks, but it's ours. But it's not just ours. We're killing people all across the world. We're killing Cuba. We're killing Venezuelans. We're killing Iranians. And I wouldn't say I'm a friend of Iran, but what we're doing over there is not okay. It's not okay.
Yeah.
And it's going to have 100 years of repercussions, at least. I mean, it's going to become their culture to terrorize America, no matter what happens. They're signing us up for 100 years of terrorism. Yeah. It's like we're letting it happen by not going to extremes. But if you go to extremes, things only get worse for everybody. And it's like, it's a catch-22. We're trying to negotiate with Hitler is what we're doing.
Yeah, I understand this. Your concerns are completely justified, and I think that, it's not, I just can't give you like a direct answer. You know what I mean? Because
I know. I just want
because I'm in the same position. I don't get it either. You know what I mean? But it just is what it is. It's like
I'm watching my reps, my Democratic representatives vote to give ICE another $70 billion. And it's like, what the are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean,
the answer is no. Like there's not a conversation to even be had here. The answer is no. You don't need to deliberate. The answer is no. Period. It's always no. What are we talking about? The War Powers Act. She votes for it, or votes against it. Votes against the act. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? No. And it drives me insane watching this continue on for the last year and a half or whatever it's been, day after day after day after day. Oh, they fired the guys that keep track of the nukes. Oh, well, we better get them back. Or we killed 780,000 people in Uganda or wherever from cutting U.S. aid, and it's just on and on. We fired all the scientists. They're fleeing to Canada and Europe. Oh, that's wonderful. They're literally trying to exterminate us, the tech oligarchs. They're literally trying to exterminate as many of us as they can. Put RFK in front of the HHS and defund all of our World Health Organization funding that keeps us in the loop of what's going on. We don't find out about a fucking Ebola outbreak until a month and a half after it starts. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, dude, like I said, I can't give you like where the line is. All I can tell you is we are clearly in big fucking trouble. Like I was just listening to Fetterman this morning. These are the things that make me have these same thoughts, but it's just, let's just advocate that we do something and keep pushing. And I think the midterms may go our way. And as hard as it is to believe because of their arrogance in their position, they're not even the slightest bit concerned with any consequences for what they're doing, which makes it even crazier.
I know.
But thanks for calling in, dude. Appreciate it.
You bet. Have a good one.
You too. Take care. This guy just called 530. Wait, oh no. What guy just called me? Who was the guy's number that just called me? Listen. But honestly, like, as much as like I actually get what that dude is saying.
Hi, you've reached Empire Renovation. We're unable to take your phone call.
I don't know why that dude didn't answer. Let's try this dude. These guys always call when I'm on the phone with someone else. Like, why do they do that shit? Hello?
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording...
I guess they're not answering. What the fuck? Hello? It's you, Vagina Doubtfire, my dear. Can I ask you 3 questions? You, Vagina Doubtfire, my dear. Muting is not fascist. Yeah, they don't know what fascism is. They have no idea. They have no idea what fascism is. So, fascism is not muting, guys. The Constitution doesn't protect you from a private chat. Muppetry. I don't care what people's religion are. I don't bash people because they're because they celebrate a certain religion or not. I don't really care. I want people to have the right to celebrate whatever religion they want. I don't like when people use their religion to try and substantiate their bigotry. That's when I fucking get pissed off. That's to me when you cross the line. And the fact is, a lot of Christians do that. A lot of Christians happen to do that. It's just what they do, you know, and it's not appropriate under any circumstances to use scripture to attempt to justify your bigotry. It's just not. I don't tolerate it. Guys, I'm going to hop off here, but I might come back on later. I think I might come back on. Well, no, let's see. We got somebody calling. So.
Call from.
Hello, are you Trump's? What the fuck? All right, I'm going to get off before this person tries to call back. Let's see.
You don't have enough credit.
Dude's calling me from some weird fucking spoof number. All right, guys. I'll be back on later. Appreciate you guys. I might actually come back on later. Do you guys want me to come back on later? I don't know how many people are going to be on. It's Saturday. It's Memorial Day weekend. People are with their families and stuff. People aren't typically watching fucking debate lives, but some of you, I'm sure, would. I don't imagine it's going to be as, you know, huge, but what do you think? I know a lot of people aren't, but all right, we'll see. I'm going to try and come back on later then. So we'll have it at a maybe, but I'm going to try to. Should be around like 7 or so. Look for me around that time, all right? Love you guys. Appreciate you. Oh, no plans till tomorrow. That's true, too, I guess. A lot of people will be grilling out tomorrow and stuff like that. All right. We'll see, guys. Take care, everybody. See you a little bit. Make sure you guys follow over on TikTok. Same name, Adam Cray. If you guys would like to support, you can. If you do enjoy the content every single day, you can support on Venmo. If you do enjoy the content, you can support right there on Venmo to keep the content going. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.